Hare Krishna devotees in Pranam. So as we have discussed or I have shared via audio, to share the reading, the individual reading in form of audio or screen recording, a video, what may be the case. So I am sharing my reading from the basics of like one of the small book of Srila Prabhupada, which is very basic and great, the wonderful book of Srila Prabhupada, which explains all the answer of basic questions. What is happiness, what is suffering, what is consciousness, why to chant. So it is all basic. So I am starting with this book and I am sharing this reading on regular basis. So it is not let me explain. It is not actually lecture. I am sharing my reading and my thoughts also. So I am not that much learned. Plus, by blessings of senior Vaishnavas, there may be some idea comes in my mind just to regulate my studies of Srila Prabhupada and offer my respectful obeisances in form of the following his instruction. So this is only small effort on this regard. So first of all, we do Mangala Charan. After that we start. The audio may extend to 45 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes, nothing more than. Okay. So Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parjana Sahitam Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminati Namni Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So we are starting with On the Way to Krishna. So this is one of the PDF which I have downloaded from Archiver, Hariharas Archiver. So this website includes all the books of Srila Prabhupada. You can download it directly. So we are starting with first chapter. There is not that much introduction or some preface is there. So we just start with introduction. So what is the first thing we want in our life is happiness. So let's start. And please bless. I want of all your blessings so I can speak as it is what Prabhupada written. Throughway to happiness, like highway to happiness. Okay, joking. Every one of us is searching after happiness, but we do not know what real happiness is. We see so much advertised about happiness, but practically speaking, we see so few happy people. This is because so few people know that the platform of real happiness is beyond temporary thing. It is this real happiness that is described in Bhagavad Gita by Lord Shri Krishna to Arjuna. Happiness is generally perceived through our senses. A stone, for instance, has no senses and cannot perceive happiness and distress. Developed consciousness can perceive happiness and distress more intensely than undeveloped consciousness. Trees have consciousness, but it is not developed. Tree may stand for the long time in all kind of weather, but they have no way of perceiving miseries. If a human being were asked to stand like a tree for only 3 days, or even less, he would not be able to tolerate it. The conclusion is that every living being feels happiness or distress according to the degree of development of his consciousness. The happiness that we are experiencing in the material world is not real happiness. If one asks a tree, are you feeling happy? The tree, if he could or might say, it says, yes, I am happy. Standing here all year, I am enjoying the wind, snowfall very much, etc. This may be enjoyed by the tree, but for the human being, it is very low standard of enjoyment. There are different kinds and grades of living entities, and their conceptions and perceptions of happiness are also of all different types and grades. Although one animal may see that another animal is being slaughtered, he will go on right on chewing the grass, for he has no knowledge to understand that he may be the next. He is thinking that he is happy, but at the same moment or at the next moment, he may be slaughtered. In this way, there are different degrees of happiness. Yet, all of them, what is the happiness? Sri Kṛṣṇa tells Arjuna, Sukham atyantikam yattad buddhigrahayam atindriyam vetti yatra na chaivyayam stitachalati tatvatah. Translation: in the joyous state, samadhi, one is situated in boundless transcendental happiness and enjoy himself through transcendental senses. Established thus, one never departs from the truth. Buddhi means intelligence. One has to be intelligent if he wants to enjoy. What is written? One has to be intelligent if he wants to enjoy. Animals do not have really developed intelligence and so cannot enjoy life as human being can. The hands, the nose, the eyes and all other sense organs and all the bodily part may be present on the dead man, but he cannot enjoy. Why not? The enjoying energy, the spiritual spark has left, and therefore the body has no power. The body has no power. If one look further into the matter with little intelligence, he can understand that it was not the body that was enjoying at all, but the small spiritual spark that was within. Although one may think that he is enjoying by the bodily sense organs, the real enjoyer is that spiritual spark. That spark always has potency of enjoyment, but it is not always manifest due to being covered by the material tabernacle. Although we may not be aware of it, it is not possible for body to experience enjoyment without the presence of this spiritual spark. Prabhupada given one example in here. If a man is offered the dead body of beautiful woman, will he accept it? No. Within the body, will he accept it? No. Because the spiritual spark has moved out of the body. Not only was it enjoying within the body, but it was maintaining the body. When that spark leaves, the body simply deteriorates. It follows that if spirit is enjoying, it must have its senses also. Otherwise, how can it enjoy? The Vedas confirm that the spirit soul, although atomic in size, is the actual enjoying agent. It is not possible to measure the soul, but that is not to say that it is without measurement. An object may seem to us to be no bigger than the point and may seem to have no length or width, but when we perceive it under the microscope, we can see that it has both length and width. Similarly, the soul also has its dimensions, but we cannot perceive them. When we buy a suit or dress, it is made to fit the body. The spiritual spark must have form, otherwise how this metal body has grown or to accommodate it. The conclusion is that the spiritual spark is not impersonal. It is an actual person. God is an actual person, and the spiritual spark, being fragmental part of him, is also a person. If the Father has personality and individuality, the Son also has them. And if the Son has them, we can conclude that Father has them. So how can we as sons of God assert our personality and individuality and at the same time deny them to our Father, the Supreme Lord? Atendriyam means that we have to transcend these material senses before we can appreciate real happiness. Ramante yoginas sante satyananchitatmani. The yogi who are aspiring after spiritual life are also testing enjoyment by focusing on super soul within. If there is no pleasure, if there is no enjoyment, then what is the point of going to so much trouble to control the senses? What is the point? Understand? What kind of pleasure are the yogi relishing if they are taking so much trouble? That pleasure is ananta, endless. How is this? The spirit soul is eternal and the Supreme Lord is eternal. Therefore, reciprocation of their loving exchanges is eternal. One who is actually intelligent will refrain from flickering sensual enjoyment of this material body and fix his enjoyment in spiritual life. His participation in spiritual life with the Supreme Lord is called Ras Leela. We have often heard of Krishna's Ras Leela with cowherd girls in Vrindavan. That is not like ordinary exchange and that take place between these material bodies. Rather, it is an exchange of feeling through the spiritual bodies. One has to be somewhat intelligent to understand this. For a foolish man who cannot understand that real happiness seeks happiness in this material world. A foolish man who cannot understand what real happiness is, seek happiness in this material world. In India, there is a story of a man who did not know what sugarcane was and was told that it was very sweet to chew. Oh, what does it look like? He asked. This looks just like bamboo root, someone said. So the foolish man began to chew all kinds of bamboo roots. How can he begin to experience the sweetness of sugarcane? Similarly, we are trying to get happiness and pleasure, but we are trying for them by chewing this material body. Therefore, there is no happiness and no pleasure. For the time being, there may be some there may some little feeling of pleasure, but that is not actual pleasure, for it is temporary. It is like a show of lightning, which we may see flashing in the sky. That may momentarily seems like lightning, but the real lightning is beyond that. Because a person does not really know what happiness is, he deviates from the real happiness. The process of establishing oneself in real happiness is this process of Kṛṣṇa consciousness. By Kṛṣṇa consciousness, we can gradually develop our real intelligence and naturally enjoy relishing spiritual happiness as we make spiritual progress. As we begin to relish spiritual happiness, we proportionately abandon material happiness. As we make progress in understanding the absolute truth, we naturally become detached from this false happiness. If somehow or other one is promoted to that stage of Kṛṣṇa consciousness, what is the result? Now Prabhupada is talking about result. Why we are taking so much trouble and austerity and engagement? So what we want, or what result we get after this all troublesome or sense control, restrictional, etc. So it is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita 6.22. Yam ladva chaparam labham manyante niddikam tata yasmin sthito na dukkhena gurunapi vichalyate. Translation: upon gaining this, he thinks there is no greater gain. Being situated in such position, one is never shaken. One is never shaken, even in the midst of greatest difficulty, after attaining this stage. Understand? When one attains that stage, other achievements appear insignificant. In this material world, we are trying to achieve so many things: riches, woman, fame, beauty, knowledge, etc. But as soon as we are situated in Krishna consciousness, we think, oh, no achievement is better than this. Krishna consciousness is so potent that, now it is signature word, signature sentence. Krishna consciousness is so potent that a little test can save one from the greatest danger. As one begins to relish the taste of Krishna consciousness, he begins to see other so-called enjoyment and attainment as flat and tasteless. And if one is situated firmly, Prabhupada written, firmly in Krishna consciousness, the greatest danger cannot disturb him. There are so many dangers in life because the material world is the place of dangers. Danger. Yeah, we tend to close our eyes to this, and because we are foolish, we try to adjust to these things. We try to adjust to these dangers. We think like we can plan for our dangers and we can cope up with our steps or our procedure or our ideas. So we are planning like that. And Prabhupada says, we may have many dangerous moments in our life, but if we are training ourselves in Krishna consciousness and preparing ourselves to go home back to Godhead, we will not care for them. Our attitude will be, then dangers come and go, so let them happen. It is very difficult to make this kind of adjustment as long as one is on materialistic platform, because he's every time searching after enjoyment, every time searching after goal, their purpose, their own achievements. So it is not possible for them. So in materialistic platform, and it is identifying with the gross body, because he's identified with his gross body. I am this, I am that, I am my hand, my heart. Actually, is not the doer or enjoyer. So what Prabhupada written next? I am reading this sentence once again. It is very difficult to make this kind of arrangement as long as one is on the materialistic platform. Likewise, हम preaching करते हैं, devotees को बताते कि why you are taking so much trouble of your life. You are not the controller, because he is on material platform. Although we are in spiritual, we understand, but we cannot directly say is like you have to understand. According to their developed consciousness or their thinking, he can understand, because he is on material platform. So directly he cannot understand, and by gradually, if we follow in Krishna consciousness, then he can be on the same platform as we. So materialistic platform, and it is identifying with the gross body, which is composed of perishable elements. But the more one advances in Krishna consciousness, the more he becomes free from bodily designation and this material entanglement. In one of the Prabhupada lectures also says, like bhakti means, what is bhakti? Bhakti means to become free from designations of material world. So it is very signature statement. We are all in designation. Our student life, college life, or maybe in office life. Or we are all we have known by some designations, like his PhD, he has BCom, BA. There are so many designations. But if we really want to achieve Krishna consciousness, then we have to become free from designations. So next Prabhupada says, in Srimad Bhagavatam, the material world is compared to the great ocean. Within this material universe, there are millions and billions of planets floating in space, and we can just imagine how many Atlantic and Pacific oceans are there. In fact, the whole material universe is likened to a great ocean of misery, an ocean of birth and death. In order to cross this great ocean of nescience, a strong boat is needed, and that strong boat is the lotus feet of Krishna. We should immediately get absorbed that boat. We should immediately get aboard that boat. We should not hesitate, thinking that Krishna's feet are very small. The whole universe is simply resting on his leg. For one who takes shelter of his feet, it is said that the material universe is no more significant than puddle of water found in the impression of calf hoof print. There is certainly no difficulty in crossing over such small puddle. Tam vidya sukh dukkha samyoga viyogam yoga samhitam. This indeed actual freedom from all miseries arising from material contact. Bhagavad Gita 6.23. We are entangled in this material world due to uncontrolled senses. Nice statement. We are entangled in this material world due to our uncontrolled senses. Yoga process is meant to control the senses. If somehow we can manage to control the senses, we can turn our face to actual spiritual happiness and make our lives successful. Sa nischayena yuktavyo yogo nirvinna chedasa sankalpa prabhavan kamams tyaktva sarvan api asheshatah manasayendriyagramam vinayamya shamatanaha shane shane uparamed buddhadriti gratitaya atma samsthanmana karva nakaschit api chintayet yato nischalati manaschanchala asthiram tato niyetad atman eva vasamnayet. Oh, so there are the set of shlokas. Nice shlokas are there. Okay, I am reading translation. One should engage oneself in the practice of yoga with undeviating determination and faith. One should abandon without exception all material desire, born of false ego, and thus control all sense on the side by the mind. Gradually, step by step, with full conviction, one should become situated in trance by means of intelligence, and thus the mind should be fixed on the self alone and should think of nothing else. From whatever and whenever the mind wander due to its flickering and unsteady nature, one must certainly withdraw it. Yato nischalati, yes. One must certainly withdraw it in bringing it back under the control of the self. BG Bhagavad Gita 6.24 to 26. The mind is always disturbed. It is going sometime this way and sometime that way. By yoga practice, we literally drag the mind to Kṛṣṇa consciousness. The mind strays from Kṛṣṇa consciousness to so many exterior objects because from time immemorial, life after life, that has been our practice. Due to this, there may be great difficulty in the beginning when one tries to fix his mind in Kṛṣṇa consciousness. But these difficulties can all be overcome. Jai. It is because the mind is agitated and not fixed on Kṛṣṇa, that is, it goes from one thought to another. For instance, when we are engaged in work, memories of events that happened 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago may suddenly come to our mind for no apparent reason. Like it happens with me so many times, or maybe all of you. These thoughts came from our subconscious mind maybe. And because they are always rising, the mind is always agitated. If we agitate lake or pond, all mud from bottom comes to surface. Similarly, when the mind is agitated, so many thoughts arise from the subconscious that have been stored there over the years. If we do not disturb the pond, the mud will settle to the bottom. This yoga process is means to quiet the mind and allow all the thoughts to settle. For this reason, there are so many rules and regulations to follow in order to keep the mind from becoming agitated. Like one of the method I have read from Srimad Bhagavatam. I am not remembering exactly the verse, but in that particular verse it is said. It is in first canto. Actually, chapter is not known, or I cannot remember at that time now. So it is said in like we have, if we wanted to control us, maybe some close our thoughts or stop our thoughts, then we have to focus on our breath. Like we have to take our longer breath in and out. So by regulating our breath or by focusing our breath, our mind may be calm. So is this mentioned in Bhagavatam also? For this reason, there are so many rules and regulations to follow in order to keep the mind from becoming agitated. If we follow the rules and regulations, gradually the mind will come under control. There are so many don'ts and so many do's. And if one is serious about training the mind, he has to follow them. If he acts whimsically, what is the possibility of mind be controlled? When mind is finally trained to the point where it will think of nothing but Krishna, it will attain peace and will become very tranquil. Nice sloka. Prashant manasam ya enam yoginam sukham uttamam apeti shanta rajasam brahmabhuta akalmasham. Translation by Prabhupada, BG 6.27. The yogi whose mind is fixed on me verily attains the highest happiness. By virtue of his identity with Brahman, he is liberated, his mind is peaceful, his passion is quitted, and is freed from sin. Nice verse. The mind is always concocting object for happiness. I am always thinking, this will makes me happy, or that will makes me happy. Happiness is there. It is says like there is a green grass on the other side of lake. It is one story I have heard from Srila Prabhupada. There is a book, in book all the stories of Srila Prabhupada is mentioned. So it is like story, and we think whatever we have now we cannot feel happy, and we think if we got this degree or this qualification or this job, we will be happy. But it is not actually the case. After getting the same, we also feeling like, nah, this is not for me. I want some more degree. So this is the way. It is not the right way to train our mind. It is how can we train? So we have to think. It is as though we are riding on the chariot behind unbridled horse. We have no power over where we are going, but we can only sit in horror and watch helplessly. It is like most of the people have nowadays. Those who are not Krishna conscious, or those who are also Krishna conscious but who are practicing or as a beginners, we feel we are all feeling sometimes and sometimes not. Sometimes we are fixed in Krishna consciousness, pakka in sadhana, and sometimes we feel please take some time, like power nap. I want to sleep for some time. In Mangalarti also we are experiencing the same. Like sometimes we woke up early, like in 3 a.m. and we think it is not time for Mangalarti. Let me sleep for some more time. So this happens with everyone. So I am reading like that. So we have no power over where we are going, but this I already read it. Okay. As soon as the mind is engaged in Krishna consciousness, how? Specifically by chanting. What chanting? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Then the wild horses of the mind will gradually come under our control. We must engage in Krishna's service every moment of life, every moment of our lives, in order to keep the restless and turbulent mind from dragging us from one object to another in vain search for happiness in the temporary material world. Yes, I think this chapter is going to complete. After that we will take break and we will meet in next session. Though there is sloka, yunjam evam sadatmanam, yunjam evam sadatmanam, yogi vigata kalmasha, sukhe na brahma samsparsham, atyantam sukham ashnute. Sorry, my reading is not good, but I am trying to improve. Steady in the self, being freed from all material contamination. Steady in the self. How can we steady? Steady in the self by being freed from all material contamination. The yogi achieves the highest perfectional stage of happiness in touch with the Supreme Consciousness. Krishna serves as a patron for one who is devoted to him. Like one shlokas, Yatha Mam Prapadyante, as we have, whatever we have decided or whatever our aspiration in Krishna consciousness, according to that Krishna will reciprocate. Likewise, Krishna serves as a patron for one who is devoted, who is devotee to him. There is also one story at that time, Srila Prabhupada and his disciple in America, and letters also, by communicating with one another, they are writing like your devotee. So at that time Prabhupada advised, we cannot write directly devotees. Actually, to becoming devotee is very, very crucial, because actually devotee, we can see easily others, we can consider other as a devotee, not ourselves, except this is one of exception. But to become devotee is very, very great thing. So Prabhupada is advised at that time to write your humble servant. This. So we have to learn from Prabhupada. So to become devotee, it is our whole life we have to expand, we have to use in the service. That is devotee. And till our death we continue this Krishna consciousness, then we are considered as a devotee. So this is a very deep thing. We have to contemplate on this, and this is the reason of this like sessions, to read, to discuss, to reading and discussing the books or instructions of Srila Prabhupada. We can contemplate or meditate on and try to follow. This is the sum and substance of our Krishna consciousness. Okay, so I'm reading the translation once again. The steady in the self, being freed from all material contamination, the yogi achieves the highest perfectional stage of happiness in touch with the Supreme Consciousness. We are all yogis. Yogi means Bhakti Yogi. The verse number is 6.28. Whole sixth chapter of Bhagavad Gita is based on our mind control and Krishna consciousness, engaging our senses, especially the mind, which is our sixth sense. Krishna serves as a patron for those who is devoted to him. When one is in difficulty, his patron save him. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is the real friend of every living entity, and we have to revive our friendship with him. The method for reviving this friendship is the process of Krishna consciousness. By practice of Krishna consciousness, mundane passionate hankering will come to the stop. This passionate hankering keeps us divorced from Krishna. Krishna is within us and is waiting for us to turn to him. Like Lord Vitthal. Actually, I am going to make a separate video on this. As we heard in Hindi, it will be on Hindi. I am trying just to repeat what our senior devotees told, nothing more. So, as similarly we see, Lord Vitthal is also waiting for us. At that time, in past time, he is waiting for his devotee. And similarly, he is also waiting for us when we come to him. This is like the same. He is keeping his hand on her, hip. He is ready. I am waiting for you. Why are you not coming to me? So this spirit, Krishna is always waiting for us, or looking for us. Radharani is also similarly, by keeping a flower in his hand, is waiting for us, just to give us when we come to his Goloka Dham. And he offered Krishna Prem in form of his service. Radharani, we can see the picture here. Radharani is the topmost devotee of Lord Krishna. And by her mercy, we can achieve our Krishna consciousness. Krishna is Atmaram. Recently I heard in one lecture, Krishna is not need any kind of service from us. He is not dependent on anyone. But by the devotee who have dedicated his life, Krishna is hankering, or Krishna is hankering or looking after devotee. Why these people or this fellow will come to me? This is all nonsense. Krishna is very much compassion toward all the living entity, even all the animals also. This passionate compulsion to enjoy this fruit must stop, and we must situate ourselves in our real identity as Brahman, pure spirit. परम पूज्य भक्ति करुणामयी स्वामी महाराज, भक्ति करुणामयी वनमाली महाराज, sorry, Bhakti Karunamai Vanmali Maharaj says, Aham Brahmasmi, but Aham Param Brahma Nasmi. So we are all Brahman, and Krishna is a Param Brahman. So we must situate ourselves in the service, as we are servants of devotees of the Lord. Then we can be happy. That is the thorough way of happiness. Thank you so much, devotees. Please forgive if any grammatical mistake is there or in reading. Please forgive. I am on improvement path, and please give your blessings so I can continue this process till my life end, or at least I can perform very sincerely. So I can in my next life I can continue this Krishna consciousness. Your humble servant, Vejesh Kanai Das.